So is that something that Kevin, you're like, you adopt now? Do you help out with the cooking and like?
I cook certain things.
He's amazing.
But I push us in certain directions. We the cool thing now is that she's taught me to eat seasonally, which I didn't know about before. Which I actually look forward to things being in season because they taste better. And then also, I read about all this stuff, and so I'll push us in different directions. Like, for example, she talked me out of it, but I was going to make my own fermented natto at home. I do a lot of the fermenting at the house, so I do all of our sauerkrauts and all of our.
Yeah, he's the crafty one.
I go and buy the turmeric and make our teas, and like I was big into traditional tea for a long time and like studied that whole area for a bit.
He's difficult though. Like I've been trying to talk him into eating more organ meats for like
I've been
years.
doing that.
But just
I'm bored now.
some other scientist said it, and finally he was like, "Oh, let's start eating organ meats."
Well, Tim also was doing more of that.
Yeah, because it's also high in K2. Then you don't have to do the fermented natto, right?
It's fun though. Natto's fun. Good natto is pretty good.
Really? I've never tried natto. I take
really?
natto. I take a K2 supplement, but I've never tried natto.
You can make it yourself at home. Just ferment it. Just buy some soybeans and you get the
I
little
think I'm
starter.
gonna try eating it first, like
You
maybe
go to
at
a
a Japanese
good
place.
restaurant, like a really good restaurant. It's really nasty.
Is it really nasty? I've
yeah,
heard.
you need a lot of flavor on
Have
it.
you made your own almond milk?
No, I haven't.
Oh, that's the easiest thing
Yeah,
to do.
I know.
It takes 2 seconds and you can use it in your smoothies.
Right.
But you can also get a lot of K2 from like Parmesan cheese and Asiago and stuff, right? Hard cheeses.
I wouldn't say a lot. There's some, but not a lot. I think that some people overstate that. That if you compare like to natto,
Right.
it's like.
Right, but you
nothing.
can only eat like one bite of natto, and you can eat a lot of cheese.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. So there's that.
And we eat all the organ meats.
How do you like when you're talking about eating seasonally? Like, if you walk into, for example, like Berkeley Bowl, which is where I shop. Like, how do I know what's seasonal and what's not? I mean, I kind of know just from knowing, but
Right.
like, is there like someone who doesn't know?
I've been trying to tell you to make this app forever. I want her to
It
make an app that
exists.
tells where your location is and tells you exactly what the. Does it really exist? I haven't seen it.
There are a few. None of them are very good, but they exist. It's when you eat, I mean, I like to sort of really generalize it. So yeah, if you walk into a grocery store, it's really confusing because there will be strawberries all year, there will be oranges all year, there will be
Tomatoes.
apples all year, tomatoes all year, and they all sort of taste the same all year, which is terrible.
Right.
But when you shop at farmers markets and places, Berkeley Bowl is actually pretty good. I mean, if something's from the southern hemisphere, it's not in season. It's in
Okay.
season down on the other side. Like if it's spring here and it's from the southern hemisphere, it's fall there. So if you're eating Brussels sprouts in April, they're not from here. And vice versa, if you're eating tomatoes in January, they're not from here. But generally, the way I like to think about it is early in the springtime, which is the most exciting time because it's been a long winter. And in the winter, you're getting things like root vegetables, bitter grains, hardy grains like cabbage, turnips, beets, things like that. In the spring, all the grasses start coming up, right? So you get beautiful lettuces, chives, asparagus, like all the light, crisp, delicate greens. As summer progresses, it gets hotter. You start to get more sweet things like stone fruits, which are cherries, apricots, plums, peaches, berries, and things like tomatoes and the more ripe, rich, more dense fruits and vegetables. As fall progresses, it gets even sweeter, and then also you start to see a little bit more robustness, like things like winter squash start showing up, hot peppers, things that are a little more robust. And then in the winter, you start to get, citrus is like sort of the bright fruit of the winter, but otherwise you get more into the kales and cabbages and things like that. And actually root vegetables, something people don't know often, is that they can be really, really spicy and kind of hard to eat. In the winter, though, they get sweet. They get sweet and mild
Why
and
is
really
that?
delicious. I think it has something to do with the cold and how it shocks the plant, but they get really delicious that time of year, whereas earlier in the year they can actually be kind of hard to eat. So
Interesting.
yeah, and so you sort of learn by experimenting, and to me it's one of the most delightful things about eating healthfully is because you never get bored. As soon as you're sick of corn, it's like squash season, and you don't have to eat corn anymore. So
I tend to like cook the same meals, like where I stick to these almost kind of like a slow carb diet thing where Tim talks about like just you have these meals and it's the easiest thing and you keep making them. And for me, I'll have these core meals that I make. I eat a very plant-based diet, a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruits as well, and then I eat a lot of fish, like wild salmon, wild cod, and a little bit of chicken. I don't really cook red meat often. I mean, it's once in a while, like when we go out to dinner. But so I have all these meals that I like, and a lot of lentils. I like beans. I like high fiber foods. But I know my husband Dan gets sick of it because I just rotate between the meals, and it's easier for me because I work a lot, and then I'm trying to like also exercise and meditate and enjoy life, and it's just like trying to book it all in,
So we do something similar. I call them my home court recipes. They're sort of like my basics that I sort of go to. But what I'll do is I'll take basically the same cooking technique and just swap out a new veggie, and and then I have home court recipes for every season that way.
Cool.
So you just sort of like I have a roasted cauliflower dish that's like pretty popular. I do that. Cauliflower is usually in season. It's usually pretty good. But in the fall, like I'll start rotating in Brussels sprouts, delicata squash, and then in the springtime I'll just move to more salads. Less roasts, more salads.
Right.
And it's not that hard. It's basically the same idea though. It's a little bit more cycling of the rest.
No, it sounds great. I often will shift in different vegetables and stuff when I I don't have what I need, and so I'm pretty good at like improvising and experimenting, and like I'll throw together stuff that I have, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this is really good. So that makes sense, doing something like that. Do you have recipes? You have recipes on your blog and stuff, right?
I do, yeah, but I mean, I only put those on there by like popular demand. Like I don't really cook from recipes. I'm a big advocate of cooking from instinct and cooking without recipes.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
I have a whole program where I teach people how to do that, because I feel like if you're forced to cook from a recipe on a regular basis, it gets daunting and overwhelming. Whereas if you have like the instinct of like, oh, you know what, I have these ingredients, I bet it would taste really good with some garlic and some parsley. You lower the barrier to being able to cook.
It's
and
what
I
works
think
for
that's
me.
so important because when you're exhausted after work or whatever, and like you just need food in your mouth, like you really need it to be as easy as possible. Otherwise, you're just gonna order a pizza or whatever. So
yeah, no, that's such a great point. That's definitely what works for me. Where it's like, I don't even think I ever look at recipes, and every time I've tried, it has to be like I'm hosting a party or Thanksgiving or something.
Yeah, they
and
have
it
their
still
place.
becomes daunting. But other than that,
I use them for inspiration sometimes too.
Yeah, exactly.